Welcome to Around the Block Talk. I'm your host, Los. Welcome to another episode of Around the Block Talk, marketing advice that works. Today, I am honored to be talking with Thomas Detour Evans. He's a nationally recognized artist for his different styles of painting and art that he does. He does interactive pieces. You were recently on Huffington Post.
Yeah.
You recently completed They Live project. That was a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That took a little while.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit about your style.
So I have a couple different types of styles. So a lot of my stuff is portraiture, but I also do pieces that are interactive to where you can actually touch the painting, and that's really unique because a lot of times when you go to a gallery or just learn about art, you learn not to touch stuff. So my art, I want you to touch it. Well, most of my art, I want you to touch it. And then some of my work involves photography, and I try to combine different elements. So this time I was combining African art and the technology of DNA. So combining DNA, so testing of the models, with the actual photography we were taking in the field, matched with African artifacts. So that was kind of really just like eye-opening and new. It was like a photography project, it was like an anthropology project, it was like a family tree project for a lot of people. So it was really new and innovative. So that's kind of like what got me into like the Huffington Post and seeing it and things like that.
He really has amazing talents in many different forms, and he's really an amazing storyteller. I think at the end of the day, what I really love about Detour is he's a great storyteller from all his projects that he's done. So today, there are a lot of people out there that are trying to figure out this whole marketing game. We live in an era where people can now market themselves as an artist or an authority figure. And I think that there's some key pieces to people's success. You've had amazing success, not just because of your art, but also the way you've been strategizing your marketing. What would you say let's get into your top components or aspects of marketing yourself that you feel are the most important pieces.
The first thing, when I first started doing art full-time, which was like 2.5 years ago, I decided to do art full-time. I was like, okay, this is my style, who is my fan base? And really, like, one of the number one things for me is like, who is my fan base? That will help me out in determining where I'm gonna go for social media, how much I'm gonna allocate, how much will I price my work for, because knowing your target market or your fan base kind of determines all of that, and where you're gonna put your resources, how much resources are you gonna put in there, what will I price my work for, can that market actually purchase my work. So that's the first thing I think a lot of artists need to do, is find out as much as they can about their target market.
And where do you go for that? Where would you say?
It's basically because as an artist, you're not like creating like a product and it's sort of unique to you. You have to look at some of your historical sales. So what did you sell your work previously for? Your friends, do they like your work? Okay, what's their income level? And you start to figure it out somewhat, doing this ad hoc or like this guerrilla type research marketing type of thing, just by asking people, asking your friends, asking your family members, actually going out there and vending at different places or putting your stuff in coffee shops and putting them at different prices and seeing what sells. And then from there, it's kind of like after a little while, you'll get a feel of, okay, I start to sell pieces for $100, so okay, I can price stuff at $100. Okay, if I do more work, or if I do better work, can I, stretch it to $150 type of thing. So you start to learn a little bit more about your target market after you start collecting that data. But yeah, that's one of the most important things. It's like you really need to know who's your market type of thing, because a lot of times I don't show, and I don't really approach a lot of galleries. When I started out, I started putting my stuff in restaurants and boutiques because that's where my target market was. And I was making 1/3 of my sales from those places. I started doing dispensaries because a lot of people loved the individuals I was painting. So, that's kind of like what you have to do. You just got to be smart about it.
Know your fan base. Yeah. So it sounds, and I think this kind of lends itself to almost any industry, is really doing your research. finding out who likes that content, doing a survey of your current clients, kind of going to where they're at, finding out where they're at, finding out what they like, and then kind of placing yourself amongst that, you know. I think that's really a key thing for anyone starting out, is to do your research to understand your fan base. What's another key factor for your marketing?
I'd say consistency. So on my social media, I am very consistent. I post at least once a day, and if not that, I may skip a day, but I post at least once or twice, or once every other day. That way, people know that they can check their feed, you know, once a week and see 3 new posts, 5 new posts, 6 new posts, or they can come through and see something really consistent that I post every week. So I do this thing called Arctic Tuesdays. So every Tuesday, people are coming to my feed just for that piece of content, mainly because I'm sharing a lot of like how I do my work, and that's really something that a lot of artists don't do. So, you know, I'm combining something that a lot of artists don't do, and it's really helpful. People appreciate it, and combining that with the consistency. So every week, people come to my feed just for that, and it builds that, you know, that trust, because people know that they can rely on you on that post to brighten up their day, something to where they can just go to and say, you know, I haven't seen what he's done the past couple of days, let me go and check what's new, type of thing. So consistency is really big. Consistency in work, you don't want to do a body of work and then disappear for 4 years, 5 years, and then come back, type of thing, because you have to make sure you keep that momentum alive, because it's really hard to start things, you know, it's harder to, you know, start a ball, pushing a ball from 0 to, you know, 10 miles per hour. But once you start to get that 10 miles per hour, rolling that ball down the hill or something like that, it's a lot easier just to keep it going, type of thing.
Get that velocity going. Yeah.
So really, it's like you have to make sure you're consistent with whatever you're doing.
So it sounds to me like what you're saying is consistency is key, but consistency in which way? And it sounds like what you're saying is consistency through your platforms that you choose to market, whether it's a Pinterest or an Instagram, or it's on a blog, whatever that may be, is you gotta stay consistent. And I think one of the things is you're talking about is how do you add value, right? That's what is letting people stick out more than everyone else, and standing out is by adding value. You have your Tip Tuesday, right? And I think that's super critical. How much has that influenced your results when you started doing that?
That helps a lot, because mainly a lot of people tell their friends about it. They'll spread the word. Hey, this artist is showing how he does his stuff. Helps inspire people. That's the biggest thing, because I go on their feed and they show me the work they're doing based off of the work that I showed them, or the techniques I showed them, type of thing. So it really adds value to their life, because they change the work they're doing based off of like my posts.
Yeah. And that builds your authority, right? As an authority figure, it really shows that you're a professional, you know what you're doing, that you're really giving that value. And at the end of the day, people want to connect with you as an artist, not as the brand or the company. They like that too, but I think when you're adding that value, they get to see who you are, what you're about, your personality, and that really drives home that trust factor.
Yeah, definitely, man. So like they as much as they like the work, a lot of times they'll say, I like you because you're just a good person. So that's what I try to hone in on. It's like making sure that they trust me, and you know they're able to, you know, have access to some of my knowledge. That's the biggest thing. I just want to be the artist that I would want to meet, type of thing. So that's really big.
That's what's up. So then, know your fan base, stay consistent, and what would you say is another key factor for someone's marketing?
The last thing would be building relationships. That's one of the big things, because going full time, I was able to, you know, spend a lot more time building those relationships and meeting people and making sure I'm more consistent with those relationships. A lot of my buyers are repeat buyers, so they buy more than once, different parts of the year. So it's kind of like making sure I can keep honing in on building that relationship. And once you have that relationship, you know, it's a lot easier for people to digest what you're trying to put out, type of thing. It's easier for you to communicate. It's easier for you to, you know, build trust when you're putting out something new. So I think relationship building is that last factor.
That's really huge, because I like what you're saying in the sense of you build relationships. You may build them online, you may build them through an email blast, you may build them through an interview, through your Tip Tuesday. But what you're doing is you're building that relationship, and then once you're able to connect with them, whether it's in a networking event or you're at a gallery or people just meet you on the street, right? You're building that relationship. And I think that is key, because people think that, oh, I'm just gonna put a series of posts and I have 1,000 followers or 1,000 likes on each one. All of a sudden now I've had that trust. Well, there's that human component, you know. I think people are missing that. You know, people just wanna press enter and post and then that's it. But there's the other human side of this, right?
Yeah, it's a two-way street, so you have to, when you put work out there or, you know, put a message out there, you also have to make sure you're talking back when they respond. So that's kind of like my thing too, is like making sure I respond on the different posts that I put out there. People are able to have a conversation with me, because when you're able to have a conversation, you're able to build, you know, like a rapport, and that way people are easily able to, you know, like I said, digest what you're putting out there, and just building that relationship is really big, because, you know, it's really hard to buy work from people you don't even know, or don't even really know the background of.
The backstory and
whatnot. And everything. But once you know and you follow that individual for, you know, months or years or something like that, it's a lot easier to say, I knew you when blah blah blah, now I saw you evolve, let me buy a piece of work from you, mainly because it has this story behind it. So yeah, the relationship that you build is really important.
Yes, that's what's up. So just to recap, first, know your fan base. That's very important. Who's gonna buy it, where they're at, how to reach them, how to get to them. Really do your research, right, for building your fan base. Second is staying consistent. Once you turn on that channel, once you turn on that marketing channel or platform, don't let it go silent. Don't let the crickets creak in, right?
Stay consistent.
Yep, so then stay consistent. And then the third one is build relationships, right? Build relationships with the humans that you're trying to connect with. Whether it's communicating through online, in a comment, or you're replying to emails, pick up that phone, go to networking events and present yourself, be in front of people, build a relationship. I think that's definitely very cool and very critical. So anything else to say as far as expressing oneself so that people see you?
I'd say the biggest thing is just like be honest with yourself. Make sure you can handle the workload type of thing. Just enjoy it. Make sure you enjoy, you know, the hard work that you're gonna put in, because it is hard work. So if you enjoy it, you'll be good.
That's what's up. So what can people expect? What are your new projects, your current projects, your next projects?
Got a new show coming up, or part of a group show at a place called Red Line in Denver. So doing more sculpture, so venturing outside of just the painting. And then hopefully I got a little hush hush project that may be happening with the NBA stuff. So just working on that. So it's kind of like that came from word of mouth from one of my fans to, you know, some people, and they caught on and like hit me up. So it's kind of like I said, a relationship. So, you know, just enjoy what you're doing.
So if you really want to check out, and I recommend you do, check out Thomas's artwork and all of his amazing pieces, you need to go to imdetour.com, and you can also look him up under the same name under Instagram as well.
Instagram is Detour303.
Okay, and then where else can they find you?
Twitter, I am Detour303, and then on Facebook, I am Detour.
And YouTube, I am Detour, because I subscribe to his channel. So I'm a big fan, and I'm just looking forward to all your continued success.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm amazed, man. If you like this video and found value, please like and share it. And also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get more marketing advice that works. We'll see you on the next episode. And remember, join the talk.